from telling people like you about the health benefits of food and food components. Codex does degrade the organic standards so that they become as meaningless as they are in the United States. So, Codex gives you, and the EU takes everything that Codex offers it and puts it on steroids. So, where the EU, or where Codex sets up a standard for undernutrition, the EU sets out the European Food Supplements Directive, which is far worse than Codex requires. I would like to have you read that slide, translated into German. Codex offers you just a quick note on genetically modified foods to reinforce your revulsion. GMO foods, independent science shows us, are associated with the lack of human beings and animals to bear young. The mothers of the tiny little mice there, the little mouse, were fed GMO soy feed. 80% of those mothers' mouse pups died before they were born. 55.9% of them died within 3 months after they were, of those who survived after they were born. Of the rat pups, of the rat pups born to mothers fed the same diet but of non-genetically modified soy, 3% died. GMOs cause many, many deficits and problems in every system of the body. And they are linked to cancer, heart disease, infertility, autoimmune disease. Great money makers for Big Pharma and Big Medica. And more, and more. Once the DNA of a genetically modified anything gets into the environment, it spreads pretty much to everything. One of the things that GMOs are linked to is forbidden seed saving. Do you understand how important that is? If a farmer cannot save seed to improve his stock and must buy seed from the seed manufacturers, our food is not ours. We are slaves eating the food of slavery. Sustainability is not possible if we do not have the right to eat the food. Superbugs, superweeds, superpests, and HIV are all associated with GMO food. HIV? Did she say HIV? Yes, she did. And here's why. Here in Europe, there are 2 types of corn or maize, which are genetically modified corn or maize, which are approved for animal feed. The genetic material from those foods go into the animals, go into the environment, go into us. Those 2 types of maize, MON 810 and NK 603, have been used in Africa secretly for 15 years. In order to make a genetically modified anything, you have to have a promoter virus as part of the mix. The promoter virus is generally the cauliflower mosaic virus. The cauliflower mosaic virus by itself reduces CD4 cells. What is the diagnosis of AIDS based upon, HIV/AIDS? It is based on the reduction of CD4 cells to levels where life cannot be sustained. So, are the people of Africa dying of the HIV virus, which has never been proven to cause disease and may not exist? Or are they dying of the MON 810 and NK 603 corn that is their staple? Or are they dying of a combination of undernutrition, which you remember from my talk earlier, and the cauliflower mosaic virus? One of the gifts of Codex, the United States, and the pharmaceutical industry. Now, what can we do about it? I'm going to skip the many other things associated with GMOs, because either you know it or you can come back and find out more. Codex is being applied in Europe against the laws, as I understand them, of Europe, and against the precautionary principle, which says if it's dangerous, you can't use it. That's true of the irradiation, the pesticides, the GMO, and all the other contaminations of food. But don't worry, we're going to fix it together. Okay. Because we can, because we must. Now, I'm going to skip the technical part about Codex. It goes on, and I'm going to tell you very briefly that the Natural Solutions Foundation created the International Decade of Nutrition to demonstrate how it's possible to solve this problem. Now, with a problem this complex, the solutions are complex, but doable. So we must, among other things, change the political process and control it, and we must reclaim the production of food globally. But you weren't busy this week, were you? Whoops, that says Beyond Organic Biodynamics, Zero Emissions. The slide has been moved about. Anyway, in Panama, General Stubblebine and I have created a farm and farm school for global information sharing. That's the view from our farm, by the way. So you're not the only people with mountains. Now, we have projects in Africa. We have projects in Panama. I'm going to skip that. If you go to our website, which is globalhealthfreedom.org or naturalsolutions.org, you can learn lots more, or you can ask us. However, now, by the way, those two beautiful children were taken on our coffee farm, where we are creating techniques to share with farmers around the world to grow coffee in economical ways without any chemicals. I'm going to skip a lot of this information. It's really interesting to me. I hope it will be interesting to you, but we don't have time now. Here we have a man sitting beside small gardens. How many of you know that it is possible to raise enough food for a family of 4 in a 1¼ meter by 1¼ meter box of soil? Now, if you've got a family of 12 or 13, you'll need several of them. But that's okay. Yep. With almost no money and with very little effort, you can raise enough clean, sustainable food for your family in a corner of your apartment. How's that for power? We can do this together. That's step 1. Raise your own food, and we will show you how. That's the first step. Don't eat contaminated food. Grow your own. Get together with neighbors. Grow lots for a small group or a larger group. And there will be administrative and criminal sanctions which will be presented that you need to push back. And you will hear that it's bad for you and that the food isn't as nourishing and so on. That's the false mainstream media. They will come at us. They will come at us. Now, the political part. We're going to be healthy because we're eating clean food. We're sharing it with our neighbors. We are strengthening communities. We're teaching our children the survival skills and the mental skill for survival. That's why these children are so dear to all of us that are here. But you have something here in Europe that we lack in the United States. Well, you have many things here in Europe that we lack. One of the things you have is referendum potential built into your system that we do not have. 1 million people, that's one person out of every 48.5 Europeans, signing a letter demanding the European Parliament reopen an issue will cause that to happen. You all know that, right? So we must create a petition demanding that the European Union, and this will change the world, by the way, demanding that the European Union re-examine its participation in Codex, the European Food Supplements Directive, which guarantees undernutrition in the face of Codex toxic foods. The